close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Daniel Bailey TV. I hope you're all keeping safe and well on this Monday evening, the day after the game against Leeds. I'm going to get into it. I've got lots and lots to talk about because there are lots and lots of talking points. But do smash the like button, do subscribe, and do hit that share button if you can. It's really, really important that you guys do that. Leeds yesterday, obviously it was a madness. The first half, I thought we played really well. I've got to be honest. I thought we'd done okay. I didn't think we were that bad in the first half. Certainly in the first 10 to 15 minutes, we controlled the game. Obviously, we all know about the power cut that happened. Like literally took 40 minutes after the 2 p.m. for it to get going. But when we did get going, I felt in the first half we played quite well. I don't think we was that bad. And the reason why I've titled this title Lucky Lucky Arsenal is because the second half, I've got to be honest. And I've got, obviously, you guys know, obviously, being a Gooner, you always back your team. But in the second half, we were very, very, very lucky. Like, we were incredibly lucky. Bamford coming on, getting a penalty, missing the penalty, and then right at the end, with the incident with Gabriel. Listen, I'm going to dive into those more in depth, but yeah, the second half, guys, I've got to be honest. How we got out of jail, and it's very, very difficult to sit here and slate the team too much, because ultimately we did get the 3 points. Ultimately, we capitalized on it. But from a performance-based, objective opinion, actually, we didn't deserve anything out of that game. Look, we got to give credit to Leeds. I've got to give credit to Leeds because they really closed us down. They were really on it, and right from that second half, they upped the gears, and we just couldn't cope with it. Having said that, I do think a lot of our players had an off day. There was loads of our players that, that were off the pace, plain and simple. Guys that have done really well for us this season. You look at the likes of Saliba, you look at the likes of Odegaard, you look at the likes of Xhaka, you look at the likes of Thomas Partey. Jesus had a poor game yesterday. I didn't think Saka was that great yesterday, even though he scored the goal. Took his goal really well, but in terms of ultimate performance, look, I think it's one of those performances where we just take the win and move on, because it wasn't great. It absolutely wasn't great in terms of the second half performance. It wasn't at the level that we are used to seeing this season. It wasn't anywhere near the free-flowing performance that we're used to seeing. Now, having said that, we did get the 3 points ultimately. But I'm going to break it down a little bit, and I'm going to start. I want to start with the 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 notion that the players were off it, because they were off it yesterday, and I don't subscribe to this. Oh well, they played a game on Thursday. They went to Norway. They had 2 flights to contend with, and then they come back. They didn't really have much time to prepare. I don't buy the notion. I don't subscribe to that, and I don't buy that as being an excuse, because they're getting paid lots of money. They're playing for Arsenal Football Club. Arsenal are going to be in competitions. We're not just going to. It's not just going to be the Premier League. Obviously, it's going to be Europe. It's going to be cup competition. So I don't buy the whole. The players are tired due to traveling. Listen, they're in a privileged position. They just got to deal with it and fucking get on with it, in my opinion. So I don't buy that. I don't buy the tiredness excuse. And I don't think that should be used as an excuse. But I do think where we can take positives from yesterday is that we did win the game, but we won it without playing well. And that is the key thing. When you look at that type of game yesterday and the way that the players, yes, there were some hairy moments, and yes, that actually once the final whistle went, you could breathe a sigh of relief because we really did get away with one. But when you look at that kind of game, and then you look at this team, and then you look at the team maybe 2 seasons ago, we would have lost that game easily. I'm sure of it. I'm sure we would have absolutely been battered in that game. So have to give credit for getting the win. But listen, the performance was shocking. Everyone was just off it. I don't really know how else I can describe it, but everybody was off it. And I've seen a lot of streams saying that maybe we should rotate because of the Europa League and because of the heavy fixture congestion. I don't even buy that notion either, to be honest, because the way I see it is you're playing for Arsenal Football Club. You shouldn't be tired. What are we in now? We're in October. You shouldn't be tired. You shouldn't be suffering from fixture exhaustion at this stage of the season. You should be at peak fitness. I can understand if it was February, March, April, where they've played the World Cup, they've played, the congestion at the beginning of the season. But listen, we're in October. I'm sorry, you can't be fucking using tiredness as an excuse. And maybe I'm being a little bit harsh, but that's just the way I look at it. You shouldn't be using tiredness as an excuse for a poor performance like that in October. So I don't buy the notion that players need to be rotated. I also don't buy that players need to be rotated either, because you put your best team out. I get that we have this thing about the Europa League where, we should be, we should be resting some of our key players, and maybe in certain circumstances that may be true, but I actually find that a little bit uncomfortable as an excuse to use as well. I actually think that you play to win, you play every competition to win, and you use everything that you've got, you use all the players that you've got at your disposal. The reason why, and I'm going to use Man City and Pep Guardiola as an example of this, the reason why Man City and Pep Guardiola is so successful is because Pep doesn't subscribe to that notion of, it's a lesser cup, so let's play a lesser team. Now, I know people are going to go, well, they've got the squad depth to do that. And maybe that's true. Maybe they do have the squad depth. But at the same token, if you want to win everything, then you need to get the squad depth. We're not there. We don't have the squad depth right now, but we need to get there. We need to get the players to fight on all fronts. I'm sorry, I just don't buy that as an excuse. I realise I've massively gone off the Leeds game, but it's just, look, I'm not buying the whole Thursday, Sunday excuse. I think if you play for Arsenal, you're in a privileged position. You've got to put in a performance. If you're tired, you're tired. Fair enough. But you shouldn't be tired in October. I know the players have played a lot of games already, but I'm just not buying that as an excuse. That's my personal opinion. Please do hit the like button if you haven't done so already. Please hit the subscribe button. I will read some of your comments very shortly and dive into it. I want to talk a little bit more now about Gabriel. I want to talk about Gabriel. Listen, I will read all your comments to everything that I've said. So do keep putting them in there, and I'll do that towards the end of the show. But I want to talk now about Gabriel because I've got to be honest with you guys. Gabriel is worrying me, absolutely worrying me 100%. And the reason why he's worrying me is because he, over the last, I think maybe 2 or 3 games, maybe you could look beyond that. He has made so many mistakes, which has cost us, goals. You look at his mistake against Liverpool, which led to I think it was the Firmino goal, or was it the first? Was it the first goal? I think it was the Firmino goal that Gabriel made the mistake for. You look at the mistake against Richarlison in the Spurs game, which led to the penalty. You look at the incident yesterday where he kicked out. Yes, you could say that that Bamford possibly pushed him, but I look at this and I think Gabriel, for as good as he is, he's an accident waiting to happen. And I've said this for a long time. I've said, Gabriel, if Arteta doesn't hook him or give him a rest or maybe have a word with him, eventually it's going to cost us. And eventually it's going to cost us when it matters. Now, I like Gabriel. I'm a big fan of Gabriel. But I do think that maybe a spell on the sidelines, just a little bit, would be beneficial to him. I honestly, just let me know what you guys think on Gabriel. Do you think he's an accident waiting to happen? Because you can't be kicking out at somebody like that. Honestly, you can't be. And had it not been for VAR, had it not been for VAR overturning that, that would have cost us because ultimately it would have been a penalty. And secondly, he would have got a red card. And the other thing I want to, when I talk about Gabriel, I want to make this comparison to you guys. How many times have we in the chat and me on streams have slated Granit Xhaka for doing exactly the same thing, costing us in games? How many times, and we, he's not above criticism, Granit Xhaka. So I think if we're comparing it to Granit Xhaka, and actually I look at Gabriel, and I've got to be honest, I don't see no difference in the mistakes that Gabriel is making this season to the mistakes that Granit Xhaka has made in big moments in games. And actually, I have to make that comparison. And if we've criticised Granit Xhaka over the years, then I'm afraid Gabriel is not immune to criticism. And actually, he needs to cut that out of his game, because I stand by it, and I'd actually put money on this. He's going to cost us in a game when it matters. Big up Joanne, big up Mr. B. I'm just going to run through a couple of these. Big up Stephen. Let's have a look here. So yeah, do smash the like button, guys. Please smash that like button. Let's have a look. Let's have a look here. But yeah, honestly, let me know what you think about Gabriel. A couple of you were saying that Gabriel should be dropped. Um, Arsenal Manic here says, is Gabriel morphing into Mustafi? Do you know what, right? I don't think it's that bad, but I do genuinely think Gabriel needs to come out the team. I do genuinely think he needs to come out. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the decision to obviously award Leeds a penalty? Because look, it's very difficult to say whether whether he was offside. Obviously, I'm probably not the best person to judge on that because from the way that the commentary was talking, that there wasn't even talk of an offside position. But to be fair, when you go to these away grounds, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. You're getting you're using the in-house or for visually impaired people who use the commentary service, you're using the in-house commentary. And when you go to away grounds, they tend to be a little bit biased towards the home team. So like if you're going to Leeds like yesterday, it's obviously the commentators are biased towards Leeds. So which is, it's understandable. It's an away ground you're going to. Um, Arsenal Manic says, who goes in the team if he comes out? Well, I can tell you exactly what I would do. I would take Gabriel and I would put Ben White next to Saliba. I would put Tomiyasu at right back, and then I would put either Tierney or Shinchenko. Obviously, Shinchenko's been injured, but I would put one of them. So I don't think you'd have to disrupt the back line too much if you take Gabriel out. I just think you've either got two choices. If I was Arteta, I'd be looking at this and going, you've got two choices. And if I was Arteta, I'd be saying to Gabriel, I'd be saying, listen, cut out the silly mistakes or you come out the team. And I'd give him a chat. Honestly, it'd be that simple. It'd be saying, listen, I know, and it's hard because obviously when you're emotional and you're passionate and you're fighting for your team, things happen. But I would be saying to Gabriel, because it's not the first mistake. You can add them up. And I think now would be the time for Arteta to pull him and say, listen, you're a great defender. A lot of what you do is brilliant. But if you don't cut out the errors, which actually are costly errors, and right now we've gotten away with it. But if you don't cut out the costly errors, you're sitting on the bench for a while. So it's up to you. And that's what I would be saying to Gabriel. Stephen David says, move Tommy to centre half next to Saliba. I didn't think Tomiyasu had a great game yesterday either, to be honest. Big up Mike Ernest. Yeah, I didn't think Tomiyasu had a great game. I honestly didn't think he had a great game either. I thought he was off the pace. Like I said, a lot of players were off the pace today. A lot of players were off the pace yesterday. Sorry, God, what am I saying today? Obviously, yeah, a lot of players were off it yesterday. And look, I expected there to be a dip in the intensity some point during the season because we did start. Our intensity has been good this season, and I did expect there will be times, because every team has it. Every good team has it as well. They have the odd game where they don't play well. I mean, look at Man City. They were kind of, Liverpool, they were off it a little bit against Liverpool. So it happens to the best of teams. But for me, it's going to be crucial as to how we respond. Not necessarily looking at the PSV Eindhoven game, because I do think Arteta will make a lot of changes for that. And I do think, you know, if we win that, we top the group, and I do think we will win that. But for me, the Southampton game, we need a performance against Southampton just to get this performance against Leeds out of our system. We need to go to St Mary's on Sunday, and we need to beat them 3 or 4-0. In my opinion, we need to just we need to give someone a good hiding just to get over this this weekend. This weekend just gone. And I do think Southampton are probably the team to do it, because they ain't great, are they? Let's be honest. And if we fuck up against Southampton, which is possible because it's the Premier League, but if we fuck up against Southampton, then honestly, we just all might as well go home, because we should be beating them. And that's no disrespect to Southampton, but we've got to be fucking doing better. Do you know what I mean? We've got to be beating them. So look, PSV Eindhoven's going to be a tricky game. It's going to be a tricky game because they are a decent side. However, I do think we should have enough to beat them. I will go into more depth about the PSV Eindhoven game. I'm actually going to that game on Thursday. Really looking forward to it. Yeah, really looking forward to it. But listen, I'm going to read comments, read more comments. So if you want to get them in, now's the time to do it. But I do think that we got away with one. We got away with one massively yesterday. Let's have a look. Let's. I'm not sold on this Tomiyasu player, says Arsenal Manic. Do you know what? I think he's decent. Again, he's had a lot of injuries. Look, Tomiyasu, I like Tomiyasu. I like Tomiyasu. I'll tell you who we are missing. We are really missing Zinchenko. We massively need Zinchenko back in the side. And I wouldn't be against. I wouldn't be against bringing Zinchenko, provided, because we don't know whether he's still injured. Obviously, we'll get updates this week. But I would actually bring him in and maybe ease him back into that Europa League game, and maybe rest, Partey and Xhaka. Maybe bring in Zinchenko, Lokonga in. I would actually put him in that midfield. Put Tierney there. Put Cedric or Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu could probably play because he's not played an awful lot of minutes and should be fit. But yeah, I would do that maybe for PSV. I would look at doing that, because we need Zinchenko back, and he can cover not just defense but midfield as well. So I do think we need to give a lot of our senior players a little bit of a rest. Maybe just because I know it sounds really bad, but I really want to focus on the Premier League. Our league form is so good at the moment. And I know we had a shocker yesterday, but our league form, like, honestly, we're in such a brilliant position. We are probably miles ahead in the table right now than where everyone thought we would be at the start of the season. Did you think, right? I want to ask each and every one of you, and I just want you to put yes or no in the comments, right? I don't want you to elaborate or anything like that. Just put yes or no. How many of you, right, at the start of the season, thought that in October, mid-October, we'd be 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League ahead of ahead of Man City and ahead of Liverpool. I mean, we're in a really good position, and I really don't want to squander that. And I know there's risks to that, but I really want to look. We're in a good position. Like honestly, we're, I'm surprised we all haven't got nosebleeds yet because we're so high up. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, but yeah, I would just I like the Europa League, but listen, the Premier League is priorities. Premier League has to be the priority. Keeping that league form. We need to go into the World Cup. We need to go into the World Cup where we are now, pretty much, or maybe even better than where we are now. If we can break for the World Cup and we're still in that position, listen, that's going to be a massive achievement. Whether we win it and stuff, listen, I don't want to get into all of that because I've been down that road, and it's a long way to go. But actually, for this young team, where we are right now is a massive achievement, and I don't want to throw that away. So I'd rather just, in all honesty, we just need to get out the group, finish, win the group, the Europa League group, and then just literally focus on the Premier League. Focus on the Premier League. Listen, Europa League, I've worked out that if we win the Europa League group, we don't play again till March in Europe, because you go straight into the last 16 of the Europa League if you top the group. So then it's a good chance to focus on the cups and the league, the domestic. We can take care of domestic business before we have to think about Europe again. So, look, we're in a brilliant position. Mr. B says only Ramsdale played well. Tommy Asu was brilliant against Liverpool. I think a bit of rest will do him good, says Joanne. Arsenal Manic says yes, hit the like button. Let's hope Gabriel gets some training this week on how hang on. Oh, hold on. Comments have just there we go. We got Kylan. I just realised we don't have a break. I've just realised we thought because we have game week 12. Big up Russ. Oh, Russ is in the chat. Big up. Yeah, everyone, please smash the like button. I'd really appreciate it. Drill the like button, people. And hit the share button. So Kylan says, no, he didn't think we'd be where we are. Russ put yes. You actually thought we'd be literally top of the league, 4 points clear of Man City. Like, come on, seriously. You honestly think at the start of the season you thought we would be? I'd stick a full team out for the PSV games and make sure we finish top. Yeah, I can see that. Stephen David says no to the question about in the league. Yeah, Russ is like Russ says, we win the group and we skip the next round. Yeah, I think that'll benefit us. PSV are the toughest team in our group. Yeah, listen, they're going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, but I do think we have enough to beat them. Like I said, I'm going to both, going to Thursdays, and I'm going next week as well. Nice little trip to Holland. I'm actually looking forward to it, actually. Looking forward to making the trip over to Holland. probably do some. I might do some content actually. I might record some videos and upload some little videos and put like a little video together of myself over in Holland. So I think I will actually. Top two in FA Cup will be amazing. Yeah, I'll take that. Top two in FA Cup. Yeah, football, Cavo. There's Daniel, my guy. How you doing, mate? Thanks for tuning in. Russ says, I always told you to back Arteta and Xhaka. My support was unwavering. Listen, I will say this as well, and I'm going to eat humble pie here. Let me just get that knife, to cut a big slice of humble pie, because I feel like I should eat humble pie, because Granit Xhaka has actually played well this season, and I never thought I'd be on a stream saying that Granit Xhaka's played well. And yeah, Arteta's doing the business. Do you know what? Right, I look back, I look at the way we started this season, and the one disappointment, the only disappointment, and it's not. It's kind of weird because I don't really see it as a disappointment. I see it as a unnecessary mistake, and that was the game against Man United. I look at that game now, and I look at where we are, and I look. Could you imagine if we should have won that game if we'd have just, if the naiveties hadn't had come out. I do feel though that having gone through what we did with the Man United game, I do feel like that we've learned from that. Certainly in the Tottenham Liverpool game, but yeah, like I said, the one worry for me at the moment is Gabriel, and Gabriel is the one worry for me, and we need to sort that out. No, but still don't think you'll finish top four. We're gonna finish top four. Come on, we can't throw this away. If we throw this away, it's just gonna be a massive It's gonna be a massive disappointment. Mr. V, absolutely not. Yeah, definitely not. I'm actually not staying in Amsterdam. I'm staying in Eindhoven. So yeah, we're actually flying into Amsterdam and then getting a train from Amsterdam to Eindhoven. I'm actually looking forward to it because yeah, I've only been to Holland once before, probably about 12 years ago. But not been to Eindhoven. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. Let's have a look. Gabriel was the best defender on the pitch. 3 tackles, 3 interceptions, 4 clearances, and 3 blocks. 4 blocks, sorry. Yeah, do you know the thing is, right? And when you put up his stats there, they are great stats, but you need to look at the costly mistake, or that could have been costly. Look at when he kicked out at Bamford. You can't be doing that in a 94th minute when we're literally so close to winning a game. You can't be doing that. So and it's not the first time this season. You look at the Spurs game, when he brought down Richarlison, can't be doing that. Come on, he needs to have a bit more discipline in those kind of moments. And for me, you can have all the great stats in the world, but if one of those costly moments costs you, then all the good work that you've done in the rest of the game is just going to be forgotten about. You're just going to be remembered for those costly moments. Well, Arteta's substitutions were awful during the United match. They were actually, to be fair. I felt like he went too early with his substitutions because I felt like if he'd had stuck with what was on the pitch, we would have won that game because Man United at the time were only 2-1 up and we were on top of them. And then he made the subs and it just all went pear-shaped from there. Let's have a look. Taking a trip to the cafes in Amsterdam. No, I'm not into all that. I'm not into all that, to be fair. I'm not into the whole brownies thing with extras. Honestly, not really my scene, to be honest. We got Melina. Melina's in the chat. Lots of you in tonight. But yeah, guys, do hit that like button. Honestly, smash that like button. Really appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please hit the share button. Would really appreciate that. Let's try and push the channel on. Like I said, I am back permanently now, so there will be regular content. I will be about on Wednesday for a preview of the Eindhoven game, and I'm looking forward to going to the Emirates for that game. A weird kickoff time as well, isn't it? It's absolutely mad kickoff time, like 6 o'clock. Right, let's have a look here. What's going on? There we go. Yeah, so yeah, I am back permanently, guys. So yeah, there'll be regular content. And I realize I've said that a lot of time, but listen, like now things have just calmed down. Finally, I can concentrate on putting more effort into this channel. I'm gonna try and line up some guests as well to come on and do some shows together. So yeah, do hit that like button, guys. Do hit that subscribe button. Listen, I am probably going to wrap this up because I've been going for nearly 40 minutes. And it's a long time when you just guys are listening to me. But yeah, like I said, I will be back Wednesday. Try and do it maybe the same time, 7:30, for the preview of the Arsenal versus PSV Eindhoven game. And then I'll do a review of it on Friday. Actually, no, Friday I will be dropping a pre-recorded review. Oh no, I can do a review. Yeah, no, I'll drop a pre-recorded review because I've got my daughter on Friday, so I won't be able to do any lives Friday. And then Saturday I'll drop a pre-recorded preview for the Southampton game, and then Monday I will be back with the lives once I've dropped my daughter off back home. Then I'll come on and do a live because I can't do a live when I've got my daughter here because yeah, she's 7-year-olds are hard work. So yeah, listen, I'll be back on Wednesday. Look after yourselves. Smash the like button. Smash subscribe. 4 points clear at the top of the Premier League. Arsenal are flying. Come on, you Gunners.